me love, don't need no money, don't need nobody.
Welcome, my friends, back to Two Tribes, One Mind. We're back with Welcome You Some of the Beat. And just introducing myself again, back in with it with Big W. And to my left,
we got Big BC. Let's go.
Yeah. And then introducing our guest today, which we did promise y'all a very, very big guest today. Yep. So introduce yourself.
I'm Haley King. I'm president of the Texas Tech Women's Rugby Club.
Most definitely.
Guys, awesome, guys. We got Haley here. We talked about it the last time, bro. Like, hey, we're gonna bring you someone special here. Look, when I saw Haley, bro, she was dressing nice, and I was like, gosh, she came prepared, man. You know, like
she's ready for the interview.
Yeah, man, let's go. So, Haley, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself? Tell people who you are and stuff like that. Yeah, what's up?
I'm Haley. I'm a student here at Texas Tech. I started playing rugby my freshman year, and I've been playing. This is now my second year playing. I'm the president. And I'm a journalism student with a minor in creative media industries. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. That's actually kind of like creative, something that you have planned for the future, going with your degree, and even pushing plans futuristic wise when it comes to like your aspirations and things that you want to follow through. So starting into even about we'll get right into it with a little bit of icebreaker, just trying to gauge you and trying to gauge what we're gonna work with. Ryan?
Exactly. Like I don't think that if I was to walk on the street and I would look at Haley, I don't think she's a rugby player. I would not think that she's a rugby player. But hey, man, it's interesting. So obviously, like the idea is to always like I don't think a lot of people know about rugby here, right? Even on campus, yeah.
No, I think rugby is it's definitely growing, especially after the most recent Olympics. It's grown exponentially, especially on the women's side of things, and I think it's very popular further north you go, and so down south, you get down into more traditional American sports like American football, and for women volleyball, and so the stereotype of rugby and everything just hasn't quite made it down here and expanded as much as we would like it to. So it's not super common on campus. Like I think you could walk by a person and ask them what rugby is, and they just kind of either turn their nose up at you, or they'd be like, it's American football without pads. It's just it's a brutal sport where people just run and tackle each other, but it's really not.
Most definitely.
Right. But wait, my question is, how did you get into rugby? It's just obviously you don't wake up and be like, hey, I'll be playing rugby.
I'm gonna start today, Like how did it happen?
It's kind of a funny story. So my dad's Australian. He grew up in Australia. He was raised in Australia. He played rugby over there. It's a huge sport over there, and so a lot of his family played it. My best friend, who's Australian, her husband played professional rugby over in America. And while he was over here, I was getting ready to go to college, and I'm like, how funny would it be if I tried to play rugby in college?
Yeah.
And he was like, you won't do it. Like, you're too much of a princess. It won't happen. Yeah. And he and I have a very much so, like, brother-sister relationship. And I was like, I'm going to prove you wrong. Like, you think I'm not going to play rugby, but I am. And so I got here, and the at the time president was recruiting at my orientation. So I walked around, I saw her, she talked to me, and I was like, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. And I gave her my information, I got her information, and I actually missed the first practice because I was confused as to where it was, and I was a little discouraged. I was like, maybe this is a sign, maybe I shouldn't play. And there was a girl in one of my classes, and she was sitting 2 rows in front of me, and she was talking about it. And I was like, no, I have to, I know I have to go. I know this is something that I have to do. And so I asked her, I was like, hey, I got a little lost. Where are the practices? And so she told me, and I showed up, and I think I've missed 2 practices ever since. I just absolutely fell in love.
Wow, that's absolute dedication right there. Like absolute dedication to the sport, to the way that it's being played, and also just introducing into the idea that last year the women's rugby team, here at Tech, actually won their first state championship, which was actually something incredibly big, and incredibly very, very pushing forward the program and the way that the system is being worked within the women's rugby. One thing I would like to understand more about is what are the plans for the team? What do you have plans to keep pushing this program forward?
We don't really have any plans set right now, but we're working towards a lot. We're currently undefeated this season. We're 8-0.
Okay.
Okay, y'all just started the direction everywhere.
So we're super proud. I'm so proud of the girls. Everybody's putting in their absolute best effort. But we currently are in between coaches, and so we're working towards a new coach to bring in some more insight to the team. Because as you can tell, like we're doing amazing. I'm so grateful to all the girls on the team who've helped us get to where we are. But I think it would just help to bring in an outside person to point out our flaws and not be scared to say, hey, that doesn't work. That's not good for y'all. And somebody who has a bit more expertise than a couple of college girls who are just fighting for our lives through midterms and finals and working jobs. And so that's something that we're working towards. I would definitely say we're also trying to bring awareness, Anytime I meet somebody in class, I'm like, hey, do you want to join rugby?
Definitely. Yeah.
We were trying to meet people and they're like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. I'm like, you'd be surprised. Like, we have such a variety of girls that there's no stereotype to it.
Wow.
And it's a great sport to get into, especially for the community.
Yes.
Well, she's doing that. Actually, just reminds me, she's saying, it's a diverse sport and variety. Wait, what do you mean? Like, what are the things that you think that you can get from rugby besides, like, obviously getting on the field, getting to hit someone? Like,
like, whoa!
Yeah, because in my mind, I'm like, besides the running part, but what is it? What is it like? What are the small things that you can learn from rugby that you can take off the field?
Yes.
I think rugby is such a respectful sport. The fans are respectful for the most part. You'll get a couple rowdy moms here and there, but it's a very respectful sport. You're very respectful to the sirs. And I think taking that into the real world is super beneficial when it comes to like having a job in a professional setting, just having a family, a life, taking that respect with you. And if you can be respectful whenever you're losing a game, whenever you're hot, whenever you're covered in bruises and other people's blood, then you can do whatever you want. That gives you just a certain power that nobody else has. You're like one of the only people in the room that's ever even touched a rugby ball, much less tackled people. And it just gives you a sort of confidence and you walk a different way. And the people that you meet, I cannot emphasize this enough. I have met my best friends through rugby that I would never give up for the world. Like, I am so grateful for the people that I've been brought to through the sport. Yes. It's just, the community is incredible. We're more a family than we are a team, which is really good because whenever we play on the field, we play like we're a family and we are there. Sometimes we fight like a family, but that's okay, as long as we get it together by the time we step on the pitch, it's really good.
What would you say is like one of the biggest difficulties that the women rugby club deals with when it's being, like, as it says, a club, right? So what are the difficulties that you deal with having to, like, we're not yet considered a D1 program, because it is kind of a very big thing here in Texas, where it's like Title IX laws, where it's like men and women's sports are equalized. So where in your head is it like, how can we push this? And also, where in your head is it like this club ideal is very, very difficult, or how does it influence you as a women athlete?
I think the stereotype around rugby has a bit of an issue behind it, because, you think about going out there and just tackling people, and you don't think yourself could do that. You're, I'm a sorority girl, I'm a girly girl. You'd be surprised. Like, you want to get that frustration out. And you think of over here in America, American football is the big thing. Men are tackling each other. It's all this stuff. And then women are on the sidelines. They're being cheerleaders, or they're in the Palm Squad, which is great. And there are some women who play American football. It's just not super common. And so breaking the stigma around like women can't do it or women won't do it is super helpful. Just being a club, one of the, I wouldn't say the biggest issue we've run into, because we've always made it work and we will continue to make it work, is funding. We have to ask our girls. We get a little bit of money from the school, but we have to ask our girls, like, hey, can you pay this in dues? That's going to get us our hotels, our travel, our equipment. It comes from each of us individually, but like I mentioned earlier, we are just girls. We're just we're all, taking it one step at a time. Some of us are working multiple jobs, just doing everything you can to pay rent, much less having to pay dues. To play a sport that nobody really respects you for playing, and that you don't get a whole bunch of fame for playing, but you just do it for the community and for the love of it. And so having to ask girls to pay to be there is sometimes kind of an issue. So I wish we could just get huge sponsors to blow us out of the water so our girls don't have to worry about that.
Hopefully they're watching, you know? Hopefully you're yeah, somebody you understand, you know?
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Hey man, I really respect that. Honestly, like, honestly, my first time I started playing rugby, you know what I mean? Like, bro, it's a funny story. Listen, it's a very funny story because when I was listening to Haley right now, she was like, I was just chilling, and then I was following the footsteps for my family and stuff like that. I didn't have anything like that. I never had anything like that. I was bullied a little bit at school, and then people always thought that the reason why I got lazy eyes because I got bullied. It was never like that. I think personally for me, rugby gave me strength. Like obviously like as a girl, people we've got this society, that sees women as here and then men as here, right? And right now, women's in sport is a big thing that's happening right now. Might be starting in America, but all over the world. Right now, you've got different kind of women doing so many great things.
Like basketball,
bro. Like it's awesome.
Growing.
It's really awesome. Growing. Yeah, and having girl like you, standing up for women's sport and talking something like that, it creates awareness. And hopefully you're gonna have a whole lot of people coming to shop at the rugby field.
Yeah, like
Who doesn't want to see girls tackling each other, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's taking out of society's norm, and where it's just like, as you said, women are more laid back. They're like, pump squad, but there's also another side to women want to express themselves in different ways. And also rugby is that way of also having a different form for women to express themselves, where it's like, hey, girl v girl, let's go. Hey, I'm a win. You know what I mean? That competitive edge and that competitive push. And that's why, I think it is such a big thing that women's rugby has gone to such a big growth at the way it has, right? Whereas they went to, I think, the Olympics, right? And they went to such a high statue where they actually got well known. And it literally grew women's rugby tremendously because people started acting like, wait, there's actually a physical sport for us? Whoa! And it's actually it actually opened a lot of eyes. And so we really are happy that we are bringing you here to talk more about women's rugby and just open more about those different things that we could better understand about that.
Yeah, no, definitely. My question though is, how do you balance? Because obviously you're saying you're a student, right? You got a whole lot of studies happening. You get to study, and you got to go to the field, right? You guys are winning right now, and things are happening. You know what I mean? And also at the same time, you're in college. You want to have fun, right? So how do you balance that? Because most people, the reason why they don't want to join sports is probably because they're like, well, if I go to the sport, then at the end of the day, they're taking away from my fun. And I don't have so much time in college. I want to go out. I want to go to ski. Like, don't have fun. People want to have fun. Because, listen, we college students, right? At the end of the day, the idea or the terminology in being in college students is having fun. Yes. How do you guys balance that? How do you create a space for other people to come in, girls to come in, also have a good time in rugby and also have a good time having fun? How do you do that?
I think the first thing I can say about that is we have fun at practice. We really do. We bring our speaker, we sing along, we dance, we have dance party. We'll just do any and everything to have fun. But if you're going from I don't have time for it, if you break it down, we practice twice a week for 2 hours a day. So that's 4 hours a week on Tuesday and Wednesday nights. Not a whole lot. The club and bar scene isn't really popping on Tuesday and Wednesday nights. College nights are going to be Thursday, and then you go into your weekends. And so you're not really missing out on anything. You can only gain from going to practice. You can gain strength, you can gain friends, you can gain a little bit of, I don't know, maybe mental peace just by being able to go do something that's not your everyday life. Breaking the norm of just everyday cycle is so enjoyable. And then, traveling to tournaments. We have 4 tournaments a semester. That is just 4 weekends. We leave on a Friday morning and we come back on a Saturday night. It's not like, we're gone all the time or that you're always going to be busy. It's just, it's a small commitment. It really is. It's not as big as some people would think. And we get a lot done. We're very good at managing our time. We get a lot done in the time that we have. And so it's not just a huge time commitment, and it is very manageable. And adds more to my life than it takes from it. You know,
Okay.
like it takes 4 hours a week. That's nothing compared to the friends I've made. To the every night, whenever after practice we go out and get froyo, or they come to my house. Like a couple weeks ago, the whole team came to my house and we had an ice cream sundae party, and we watched the first episode of Dancing with the Stars.
Oh wow! Okay.
So you just
It is bonding time.
it really is.
Yeah.
And so you think, 4 hours is going to be too much of your week, and then you find yourself spending 10 plus hours with your teammates, and you're like, how did I end up here? Like, I didn't think I had time for this, but you realize that you'll make time for the things that you're passionate about, for the things that you want. And so I just want people to try it so they can figure out if they're passionate about it or not, and make the time for it, because it is worth it, in my opinion.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and I would say, like, what would you say whenever you step on that rugby pitch? How would you say you feel, or what is that feeling, or that energy, or that adrenaline that rushes right through you when you step on that pitch? Like, what is that expression?
Walking to the pitch, I always have so many nerves. I'm always so nervous. I'm like, man, I don't know if I can do this. Like, how do I even get into rugby? Why am I even here? And if we're kicking the ball, I always have so much peace because I know we have some really good kickers. I just pray they don't kick it to my side so I don't have to get the first tackle of the game.
Yeah.
And if we're receiving, as soon as we catch the ball, I'm like, game time. This is it. We know what we're doing. We practice to do this. We're good. We're undefeated. Having that confidence is just, it's incredible.
Oh wow! Well, no, this is like it's eye opening. Honestly, it is eye opening. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna ask you a few questions. Though that are just like some fun questions, right? Normal, since you say you guys are fun, right? Right? So I'm like, so if yours are gonna be like, let's say if your type of food dish, what would the rugby team would be like? What would be guys if you were
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm gonna say pizza because there's such a variety in pizza. You can have your kind of run of the mill pepperoni, or you can do my favorite, which is Canadian bacon and pineapple, also known as Hawaiian. Or you can do like a supreme pizza. Like, there's so many different toppings you can put on a pizza, and that's kind of our team. Is there's so many different people that all add to it, and so I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's such a thing as a bad pizza. Right. And that's how I feel about our team. I don't think that we have anybody who you could possibly put their topping on our pizza and it would make it bad. I just don't think that it's possible. Okay. And so I would definitely say that we're pizza because there's such a variety and there's no such thing as a bad pizza.
Oh, wow.
that's
that's impressive. I think if you're going to be a type of food, bro, you probably like to be a tortilla. A burrito, please. Burrito, man. A plain tortilla, man. That's kind of common. All right, let's go to the second question. I know most time in rugby, we don't have World Cup songs, right? And it's not in UFC or maybe boxing.
No, World Cup songs, but you have your song that you listen to before the game.
Right, yeah.
Or that
Yes.
Oh, I don't know if I have one. I always drive, and so I let my passenger pick. We have a team song, but now that I'm on the spot, I can't think of it. But just honestly, any hype music, anything that's kind of upbeat. As long as we can hear the directions to get to the rugby field, we'll just blare it. We'll listen to it as loud as we can. But there is no specific song that really defines our team. There's one song we always listen to. It's our party song, but I can't think of what it is right now. I'll have to think of it and come back to that one.
Okay. Because us being involved in the athletic world and stuff, even for me, I think one of the biggest songs that I used to listen to before the game would be Big X the Plug, or listen to for example, some rock and roll music. Freebird is hey, number one when you hear that beat go. You're losing it. So I would say that's kind of very, very an open area where it kind of just gets you in that mental state into preparations for that competition, right? Because I would think when you are on that field against one another, it's kind of like war, because it's a sport where there's no pads, there's literally just hey, it's her versus me, we're just going right at it, right? So that's where it's kind of impressive seeing the feat and being able to defeat and win over and over and over is wow, that really is impressive from the Texas Tech women's rugby.
Well, it is. Now just a few questions to close it up. We need to know how well you know your team, right?
Yeah.
So in case they look at this, they'll be like, well, you know that one, All right.
Hey, we know this person.
So who's the team comedian? That's the first one.
Yeah.
Team comedian?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. We have quite a few funny girls. I myself am not super funny. Like, I don't just have the comedic timing. So I know it's not me. Man, comedic girl. I would say Arlene. Arlene always she always makes me laugh, and she always makes everybody laugh. She's also kind of like, I would say she's also our mom in a sense. She gives the best hugs. She's always asks you how you're doing, asks you about your day, and then it just kind of goes from there. She makes you comfortable, and so then you want to laugh with her. So I would say she's our comedian in the sense of like she makes you comfortable where you can laugh around her.
Right. And who's most likely to tackle you? Just randomly.
Yeah, like out of nowhere. Not expecting it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I would say during like a scrimmage, probably a freshman, because they so bad. We've had a couple instances where we've done a drill and one of the freshmen wasn't completely aware of like the rules. Like they might have not completely understood whenever we're like, hey, it's a touch game. We might not have specified like touch is not tackle. Touch is just 2 hands to the hips, no tackle. And so they'll be running at you like, whoa, slow down, don't hurt it, slow down. But yeah, I'd say probably a freshman.
Okay. And 2 more. And who's more likely to forget maybe their cleats, like during going to a game or whatever, like during practice or something like that? Yeah.
Just leave the field and just
Ed does that a lot.
I do. I will not lie.
I drive all the way to Dallas. Oh God, bro, I love my cleats, bro.
You drive all the way, bro. It was not fun. He was just like, Ed, come on, man.
Bro, like, yeah, but wait, who's that person? Yeah.
I think, well, first of all, nobody ever should, because we send out a packing list and we remind people 20 times not to forget anything, but it still happens. Last spring, so spring of 25, one of our girls, we're at the championship game in Houston,
right? And
we get there and we're in the same car and we pull up and we're unpacking our bags and she's like, oh, is there a black bag up there, anybody? And so we're like pulling this car apart, looking for a black bag. No black bag to be found. In that black bag was like her red socks, her spandex, her cleats, her mouth guard. The 4 things that you are required to bring. That her entire rugby bag was not there. And that was her last game. She still practices with us this semester a little bit, but she's graduating, focusing on other things. So she hasn't been traveling with us. So that was her like last game with us.
Right.
And so she's like, I'm not gonna go buy a new pair of cleats. Like I don't know what to do. Thankfully, by the grace of God, one of the other girls had an extra pair of cleats. I don't know who carries an extra pair of cleats with them, but she did. And so she had them. We went and bought her a mouth guard. We fitted it in the hotel. Fitting a mouth guard in a hotel is awful because you can't really get the water hot enough to make the mouth guard where you can fit it. So it was just a pain. Thankfully, it all worked out. But I would definitely say that Allie is the most likely to forget, or in the past has forgotten her cleats, her mouth guard, her everything on the tournament.
So shout out to all them names that she just said.
Right.
Hey, they must be very, very close family to the Texas Tech Rugby Women's Club.
Yes, they are. I think everybody loves them. Everybody loves everybody. I think so. I hope that that's the general consensus across the team. But I know that those 2 are definitely very highly looked upon from the rest of our teammates.
Right. I think the last question that we have is, obviously you got a whole lot of people watching right now, right? And maybe they're probably going to see you on campus or not, right? But what is one thing that...
I don't really look at this on campus.
Wait. What do you mean you don't look like this?
Like, I probably have sweatpants on, hopefully a rugby shirt. If I'm repping the club well, I'll be wearing a rugby t-shirt. But it'll probably be like sweatpants, a comfy pair of tennis shoes, and maybe a ball cap so I don't have to wash my hair.
Gosh, look at some bros looking at you right now. You're saying I'm not looking like this? Bros looking at you right now. But yeah, true story. Like, what is one thing that you can you wanna advise girls out there or people like out there, about rugby or just generally about life, something that you've learned or something that you've heard, something that you would say this is what you stand with in life, right? That obviously, like, even whether they play rugby or don't play rugby, they can learn from you. What is it, like, as a woman that's in sport and that is strong, obviously, like, and that says by our values, what is one thing that you want to advise people out there, that you want to say to people out there?
I think on and off of the rugby field, kindness and respect goes so far in this world. Even if people aren't kind to you and they don't respect you, that does not mean that you don't have to be kind to respect them, because that shows who you are as a person. Maybe they're just having a bad day. Maybe this just isn't where they want to be in life. And so if you can be that one person to them who brightens up their day, even if you just smile at them when you walk through the IMCOM building, or that's where I normally am, or the kinesiology building where we are now, that makes such a difference. Because I know whenever I'm having a bad day and someone just smiles at me or someone's kind to me, like, it truly does make the difference. Because I'm like, you know what, wherever I'm at, this is just a rough patch. I'm going to get through it. This is not the end of the world, you know? It may be a Thursday, so I have to wait until the next week to go to rugby practice, which is where I'm really happy. But I know that it's like the little people in my life who just show random acts of kindness that really make the difference. So be that person, and be the person that gives the random acts of kindness to others, because it goes so much further than you think.
Yes, and as she said, guys, it's so important. I will mean it. Like, it's so important, because sometimes you, as she said, you really don't know what anybody's going through or what everybody's going through, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes this smiling, as you said, and being kind, respectful, comes such a far way. And that's one of the things that we'll say, that if she has said what she has said, everybody, please follow. You know what I mean?
And I'm even surprised, because some girls will show up to practice and I'm like, hey, are you okay? And like a recent example this past week, one of my best friends on the team, you know, she hadn't told me about it, but one of her childhood pets had passed away. And she was so upset about it. I know whenever my childhood pet passed away, like, I was distraught. Like, I didn't get out of bed for a week, and it had just happened. And she was at practice. She was showing up. She's one of our officers. And, you know, she was there. She was smiling at everybody else. And she told me that. And I was like, girl, I'm so sorry to hear that. Like, know that I'm with you, and thank you for being here. And, you know, like, I didn't know what you were going through. And so I'm glad that I wasn't mean to her. That, not that I ever would be.
Right.
Sorry, Anna. Some people, we have that kind of friendship, and I wouldn't give it up for anything. But yeah, no, I didn't know what she was going through. And I think that's, if you don't know what one of your best friends is going through, then you definitely don't know what a stranger on the side of the street's going through.
Right. Because sometimes I check on this guy.
But whenever you come to my house, fucking weird, bro. You're finishing my food or my drinks in my house.
Hey, man, I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
I gotta hide some stuff, bro. I gotta hide some stuff. You know what I mean? But hey, honestly, you know, thank you so much, Haley, for coming. We really appreciate you so much. You know, we learned a lot, honestly, personally. Like, you know, I did not know so much about women's rugby like that, you know, and I bet, like, it kind of goes on to everyone else who's listening right now, you know. And we hope, honestly, that, you know, people are probably going to come to training more, right? You're going to have more players. And I like the fact that you guys, for you, it's not only on the field, right? It's off the field. You care about each other, right? You look out for each other, right? Mental wellness is very, very important for you guys, you know. So we hope that, you know, everything goes well, guys, for your season, right? You're 8-0 right now, you know, and we hope that you're going to go all the way. Just like you know.
Yes.
You know.
Hey, win another state championship.
We would love to. That
Right. What is your next game? We need people to come and support you. What is your next game? Yeah.
We actually play October 25th in Lubbock at the fields in Lubbock. We'll be playing on October 25th. So you should.
Which fields are those, by the way?
Yes.
So sorry, what did you say?
Which fields are those? Like,
the West Rec grass field. So if you look up the John Walker Soccer Complex, it's right there. It's all the same.
Yes. Right. Hey, y'all hear it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Show out.
You should totally come.
Show out.
And I mean, maybe if you start coming to practice right now, you could maybe play and show it off to your family members. So, practice plug. We practice Tuesdays and Wednesdays every week from 7 to 9. You can follow our Instagram account. Our beautiful Annie, she's the one who will be texting you through that. She's super sweet. She'll give you all the information that you need. Just reach out to the Texas Tech Women's Rugby Club Instagram account, and she'll give you all the information. And hopefully we see some new faces at practice if people have made it this far and I haven't poured them in this podcast.
No, I think this is good. Like,
it's good. Yeah.
Like,
no, it's good.
Good session.
Yeah. And I bet a lot of people are going to show up, though. Like,
I really hope so. I hope so. This next week, I think, is going to be a pretty big turning point. We're halfway through the season. So our next 2 games, you know, they're pretty important. And I think we're really going to kick it up a notch. And we're really going to start, you know, not that we haven't been bringing the heat, but we're definitely going to bring it to a different degree that we haven't brought it yet. So I'm excited. And I think that if you're going to join, now's the time, because now is whenever we're really going to be, you know, going for gold, and we're going to win another one of those rugby cups, because that was the highlight, I think, of most of the girls' careers, was being able to be a part of that championship and win.
Whoa, let's go. Yeah. No, hey, Tech is killing it, bro. I don't know what's happening right now, but whatever that's happening, if the spirit is gonna stay here, bro. We liking that spirit right now. We got everything happening so good. You know what I mean? But We just had a very good time right now at Tech. And if you're a student right now, if you're not in rugby, if you're not in football, if you're not, bro,
if you're not learning anything,
you
learn something.
You learn something. Like
because Texas Tech athletics is growing.
Exactly,
it's growing.
It's really big. But yeah, thank you so much, guys.
And like we ended, like we said, it's the time.
It's the time.
Thank you, and everybody. See you, son of a